So tonight we're kind of, if you can tell by my hat here, kind of Eurofly oriented, if you will. If that's even a classification anymore. I mean, realistically, they're just nymphs. They're just different nymphs with cool hooks. I'm just kind of setting up here, letting people get a second to join. I'm like fully prepared tonight. I have a functional UV light. That's pretty positive for me. I've got like viscosities of resins. I got everything going. So, should be good. Should be really good. Got things prepped over here. Got like hooks and beads and such. Feeling pretty spry tonight. It's good. It's good stuff. Flying Soho, what's up, dude? Straight porn stash. Yeah. Insert your jokes here, ladies and gentlemen. The stash is epic. So, yeah, tonight we're going to tie 3 flies. Because they're very easy. And that means that I need to tie more of them. Oh, man, just when I said I had everything. You guys ever try to drag, hola. What's up, Greg? What's up, Daniel? Let's see. Ugh. You guys ever try to drag one of these across the ground on carpet? Doesn't work out well for the feather. Or you. You drive a school bus? Yes. Absolutely. The viscosity of the resin to style my mustache. I'm a thin guy. It's mostly what I use. What's up, T-Goose? So, yeah, let's just start it off tonight. I think we'll run this route. So this is like a little stonefly variation that I like to tie up. And got some 0.15 non-lead wire here. It's a gritty tungsten bead. And the hook. I forgot which hook that is. I'm like the worst hook guy ever. It's an FW580 size 6 from Ahrex. From our... Man. I can hear myself somehow on my other computer, which is really baffling. And it's messing up my beats. We're going to have to take care of that. Give me 10 seconds. We got to take care of this music scenario. Oh. Somehow the Vimeo popped up, and that's just kind of strange. Do I drive a school bus? November, yeah. It's Mustache March. So, what's up, Fungus Among Us, Curtis? No, the stash is definitely not approved by the Thundercat. So, that is not good. Alrighty. Okay. Let's get you guys zoomed in here. Nice and tight. These are going to be smaller flies this evening. So we'll lock in here. Met Kelly Gallup once, grows a stash. Right? That is absolutely classic. Let's see. Did the Instagram freeze up there? Hey, Bill, how's it going? Is Instagram frozen? Did the video stop? Great question. I don't know what's going on with that. The video paused. It says paused. Good evening, Ed. Hello. Let's see. Let's see what we can figure out here. Restart it. Interesting. Man. Video broke on the other side. That's kind of unfortunate and strange. Let's see what happens here. Hold on, give me 1 second here, guys. There we go. Somehow I turned everything off on my video side of things for the Instagram people. That's not good. Here we go. Alright. Okay. Interesting. Actually less than interesting, but we're kind of back, so that'll be fine now. You guys all back there? Let's see what happens. Alright. Cool. Okay, so we started our thread. That's the big trick. There you guys go. Tutorial's done. Alright. I don't know what happened there. Some sort of strangeness. Strange happenings. Technology these days, I'll tell you. Let's see. Bill, yes, I'll be at fly fishing. Great question, actually. So tomorrow night, guys, if you live in the Sacramento area, I've been asked to teach about steelhead flies, and I'm just going to be tying them on tubes, so that, you know, if you don't like tying tubes, you don't have to tie it on a tube. We're not going to force you, but fly fishing specialties, Citrus Heights tomorrow night, and I should be live streaming that. So if you guys are bored tomorrow night, you know, it'd be a really good one to chime in on. John B, it's really happening, dude. I'll be down there. So this is a little bit of Super Floss, Life Flex, Sexy Floss, whatever you want to call it. What's Wyco saying? My stash is muffling the sound. Now we have no sound. Huh. Let's see. This thing is, we'll have to do it one more time. I'm going to have to reset them again. Let's see here. Sure, why not? Alright. Sorry, guys. When you have streaming to 4 places, it gets a little squirrely. Okay. We're going to continue on. I'm done messing around with the old business. Let's see. Still no sound. That's not good. Well, you guys are going to have to just do tie along without sound, or head over to live stream and watch it. So I'm going to tie in some turkey tail, and that's going to be the base of our flies. Oh, got to catch up over here. Yes, Greg, it is. Sure. It's a 5/16 or a 5. Jeez, I'm horrible at hooks. I just look at the shape of them. It's a FW 580 from Ahrex, 3/16 tungsten gritty bead, and need to get subtitles. Everybody on Instagram has no sound, but they can watch. Size 6. So just gonna let them know. So next up, we're just going to take some uni wire. This is a BR sized wire, and it happens to be in a kind of a coppery brown. And this is just going to be ribbing to protect what we're going to be working on here. Oops. Cut the hook point there. It's one thing you got to be mindful of. That's a lot of extra wire. So we'll go ahead and just move this up. Basically right in the front there is where the thorax is going to be. So once I get a few wraps in, then I'll move my wire to the back, which becomes much easier for us. Yeah, so when I go to fly fishing specialties, I'm a rep and I'm supposed to, I sell Loon stuff to them, and I think I buy more than I would ever make on my sales there. It's probably like it's like a fly tying candy store. It's pretty awesome. I'll give you guys a tour tomorrow night. So we're going to counter rib this. And I'll just wrap that down really hard. If it was thinner wire, we could break it. Hopefully the sound kicks in. I don't know what's the deal with the no sound. That's I feel bad for the Instagram guys, but there's a perfectly higher definition live stream on this side of things. So I'm going to go ahead and take in some mini fly flat braid, and that's going to be our wing case. So for my dubbing, I just use this pheasant tail ice dub. It's one of my favorite colors, and it seems to do a great job. Never get high on your own supply. Thanks, Greg, or Bill. Oh no, that was Greg. The stream tomorrow will be on Instagram. I don't have, it's a lot to bring the whole studio. Instagram's a little bit smoother for me. So I'm just going to put a small dubbing ball in here, by the way. This is what I'm doing, of the ice dub. So, yeah, the whole studio is a little bit much to break down for one evening. Maybe we'll do it. We'll see. But it'll definitely be up on Instagram. I just need to hold up I need like a neck piece that says no sound, and then subtitle it for these guys. So we're going to take the CDC feather, and this is kind of like an updated bash nymph, but it's got a lot of different parts on it, so I don't know. It's kind of the same philosophy. Same philosophy, different parts. So we'll go ahead and secure that in. And we're going to bring in some more of our leg material. And this fly doesn't get antennas. I really don't care that much about them. Well, actually I take that back, because sometimes I do put antennas on this. So I kind of messed up with all this live stream stuff. I apologize. I think my phone's on, or the Instagram thing's on strike, because I've been beating up on it all day. So we're going to go just in behind, and I just kind of do this haphazardly, not really too stressed out. I'll just pick a little bit more. It's like Daniel, it's like a light olive super floss. I think, so the first thing I do typically when I get a material is I rip it out of the bag and throw the bag away. But I'm pretty sure this would classify as a light olive. So all we do now is we're going to pull this wing case, and this is that flat diamond braid wing case again, in case you guys forgot. And I like it just because it has so much like reflective nature to it. Pretty much everybody on Insta needs to go to live stream, because it's like 10 times better picture than Instagram can provide. Okay, so we just do a quick trim there, and you can, you know, add the antenna if you wanted. Like I said, I'm going to use the fact that everything destroyed itself as my excuse, and I feel like that's a pretty good excuse. So I'm just going to put a dollop on there and go ahead and bake. Turn that off. Let's see here. So that's about it for that guy. It's a nice heavy pattern. It's going to get down. I actually had to scavenge one of them because I'd tied like 15 of them for spring runoff that's coming up. So the next one, this is like a super basic little pattern. So again, this is a cool bead. It's a, let's see, where did I drop the package for these cool beads at? It's about a 3/16. It's a very popular size for me. That's a bigger version. And it's a mottled slotted tungsten bead from Hairline. So it's a bead that I'm pretty stoked on. It's got a lot of cool little modeling. It's a flat look, so he calls it a tactical bead. We'll go with that. Rick, for this fly, it's a mottled tactical tungsten bead, and the other one was a gritty bead. Yeah, live stream. Yeah, thank you. Somebody just posted on the Instagram side that live stream's loud and clear. That's because live stream's fancy, and it requires super fancy things other than a tablet. Think that, there we go. So I just put on about 7 or 8 wraps of that non-lead wire. You guys could do more, make it beefier if you want. I need to figure out how to pin something to the top of that. So the cool thing that I like, I'm going to use pheasant. I kind of got, I think, ahead of myself and packed things up for tomorrow night, which happens quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and tie in this little pheasant tail. I like to use Coq de Leon on this, but pheasant will work really well. Coq de Leon is just way stouter and stronger of a material, in my own personal opinion. And you can see I kind of just double this back and forth a little bit, not only to secure it, not that it's going to pull the tail out, but more so for just a little bit of a ramp there. Hook size, this one is a size 12. This is a 12. So I'll tie this in like a 10, 8s even, 6s. I don't really care. Any size you want to tie. If you want to tie this in a 20 and go down to like a micro little tungsten bead, more power to you. Typically don't tie those flies that small. I'm perfectly comfortable because of the profile fishing a little bit bigger fly. Just personal feeling on that. So I create a nice, even though we're going to be using again this turkey tail, I still like, it's going to cover up pretty well, but I still like to have a nice base to work on as best as possible. It's always good to set yourself up the best way possible. So again, wire comes kind of forward. We'll do our first few wraps back here. I've got a lot of travel coming up soon, you guys. If you're out and about in the LA area, I'll be down there on the 16th and kind of just roaming. Springtime. So you get a really cool, like, modeled looking body from using turkey. And everybody should probably have some turkey flats or turkey tail sections at their house if they're a fly tyer. There is no reason not to have that material. I'm going to do a finer rib on this. And the reason I do that is just, you know, for security reasons. Helps me feel really secure about the fly. And this was a, sorry if I didn't say, this is small brown. And as far as your eye stub colors go, so I tied this fly with a hot spot, bright orange hot spot. Looks cool that way. That's the way I like it. But I'll touch a little bit on the hot spots. And, you know, had more colors of eye stub. So you can use, you know, blues. You know, nice. I like the shell pink quite a bit too. You could use a pheasant tail if you wanted a more natural presentation. They call it sherbet. It's got more of a blue hue than the shell pink eye stub, so a little bit different. For me, shrimp pink is a solid performer. Let's see. Which finish? I use thin, sorry. So I'm going to use a little bit of this shrimp. And shrimp pink is truthfully like an orange color, just so you guys know. I'm going to dub this down really, really tight. So it builds a nice solid body. My fingers look huge tonight. That's awesome. It's a little bright, but it looks good on the TV. It's bright on my viewfinder for the main camera. But so as you guys can see, killer little bomb-proof fly. It's going to last you probably 50 fish, if not more, if you tie it good. You can use, you know, flow to doctor it up just a bit if you need to. I don't really ever do that. But it's an absolute killer little pattern. Like I said, you can change up the hot spot and do a ton of different stuff. Sending messages. All right. So last but not least is this fly kind of surprises me. So this is a Firehole Sticks 516, and this is a number 12. So this is kind of a great point, case in point. And this I'll talk about jig hooks just a little bit. So you can see right behind this thing is a Gamakatsu J20, size 12. You can see it's physically, I would say almost an eighth of an inch or 3.5, 4 millimeters longer as far as the shank. Every jig hook has a different shank, like kind of a different purpose, different style. There's no right or wrong on hook sizes. You know, one guy may call something a 6, the other guy calls it an 8, and they're in the exact same size hook. And that's kind of one of the main reasons nowadays that I don't really get hung up on. You know, I know there's guys who are like, we need the recipe. And it's like, the way I look at fly tying is, if you like that fly, but maybe you don't like the hook, or maybe you think the hook should be, you know, longer, or you want to tie it something. I just don't get I never look at the size of a hook. I look at the shape. Like, well, I do look at the size, but I'm like, oh, I like this short shanked hook. Do I care if it's a 10, a 12, a 18? No, that's the size I want to tie on. So it's a good reference point to have. But, you know, if you went out and bought a bag of jigs hooks and I told you size 12, and for some reason if this was supposed to be, you know, just this short little bug, then it would be a little bit longer. Maybe it wouldn't look proportionately as right. Right then. It's a good thing I have like 5 spools of purple Glow Bright. If you guys can't pick up on that, I like purple Glow Bright floss. So it's kind of just a personal thing, but you know, it's kind of like fly lines, fly rods. There's no person who says, oh, this is a 5 weight and a 5 weight, it's a 5 weight, and it throws this, you know, grain window. That's all kind of long and gone now. So this is a pheasant tail. It's been dyed purple. I'm just using this as the tail on this guy. I do have some really killer purple Coq de Leon though. Should have used that. Oh. Next variation of this. So I'm going to leave the tail pretty long on this. And we're going to go ahead and just trim that off. And this is a extra small uni-wire. Oh, there we go. I have a very small desk, so things fall off of it. I've squirreled away the fly tying zone into a very small area. I would love to fly back east and tie. Realistically, my time on task between work doesn't leave me much time for travel, because I travel for work. So I'm typically in the western geographic areas. I'd love to go do like a bar flies one of these times. I need to talk to Schulte, see if we can make that happen someday. So I'm going to take off about 2 feet of Glow Bright floss here. If you guys aren't familiar with Glow Bright, it literally has like this crazy glow to it, and it's just a purple thread. It's like a micro version of a floss that you would use for a steelhead fly. Comes in a really cool blue that works well for me as well. So I'll tie this fly in purple, I'll tie it in blue, I'll tie it, I think they actually even make I think I have a black Glow Bright, so you could, and it does react with ultraviolet light, so it's kind of a trip. So this one I'm going to be a little bit more particular about my wraps and where everything's hanging out. And for me, a big trick is when I cross these fibers over, I just trim them all the same length. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on this because I want it to seat well, but now that I'm back behind where I want to rib, we'll just go ahead and start working upwards. And this is a deadly simple pattern to tie. You know, check it every once in a while, make sure you've got it completely under wraps. And we'll just go ahead and pin it in there. And you do have to kind of work around this, but this super small wire will create a very cool little ribbing all the way up. So there you go. That's the basic body of this fly. We're going to use some flow, and so this is not a timed event. Like, you don't need to race. You just need to take your time. And I go all the way up to the bead. I know I have to put dubbing on there, but I don't mind. And we'll go ahead and cure it. You know, it's funny, the other day I was playing with UV resin, and like literally I'm typically like zap, zap, and it cures. And then I cured for like what we always say is like a 15-second cure, and it was, I'm not saying it was better, but I'm kind of into longer cures. Because on some of my stuff that I haven't shown you guys yet, it'd be like a 16-hour fly tying special. Like, I have some flies that it takes me, 4 days to complete. So you can use Ice Dub Lavender. This is a very close color. This happens to be Diamond Bright Royal Blue. So I use a lot of these super bright dubbings. Had a little bit of another color mixed in there. So you can change this fly up. This thing seems to catch quite a few fish just the way it is. But you could go to a bunch of different bead colors and so forth and see if that does something better for you. I don't know what it is about purple, but it seems to catch fish. Let's see. Uh-oh. How do I fish this fly? I typically will high stick this, or Euro nymph it, or competition, or Czech, or Polish, or Spanish. Realistically, I'm just running this on a tight line and being in constant contact with the fly. You can put this under an indicator as well. One thing that I have noticed that I'll touch on is that I have a 5 and a 7-year-old child, and they both catch more fish on jig hooks. That is one of the reasons that I tie a lot of stuff on jig hooks. So looking down in the bottles to see how much you have left. Greg, I don't recommend doing that. So that's that little guy right there. He sinks like a rock. And full disclosure, I'll kind of go into it just a little bit more. There's various colors of these pinks, but they actually, I don't know if you can see it on there, they actually fluoresce. So you have this fluorescing fly, you have fluorescing bead. It's kind of like a 1-2 punch, if you will. But let me zoom out here and go back up top. Hey guys. So realistically, with these flies, I'll change that bead size, go from like a 3.3 all the way down through a bunch of different stuff, and it'll kind of change your sink rates. So I'd tie this fly in like 10 different bead sizes if you wanted to, and just use it for different fishing applications. So that's about all that I have for you guys tonight. I'm sorry for the no volume over there on the Instagram side, but look at how crooked I am over here. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Fix myself. Hopefully, let's see. Oh, one more question for hookups. I don't think it's that it hooks up better, that the jig bead. I think that as the fish, so say if the fish is pinned, here's his face, like this, and that jig hooks in there, and he pulls away, I think that the kid's pulling on it provides a leverage point that actually drives the hook deeper into the fish's mouth. It also could be that it's a non-barbed hook, so when you go in, you're making a small incision versus, going in there with like a big knife, driving a barb through there. So there's a ton of like philosophy behind it, but I really think it's a matter of like angles and leverage. Because my kids reel backwards and drop slack into the rod and basically do everything that as a fishing guide makes me cringe, and they still manage to land trout over 20 inches in the backyard. So I'm like, how does that even work? But it does. So thanks, Ed. I appreciate it. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off. Tomorrow night is going to be tube flies. I'm tying 5. 5 whole flies tomorrow night. I'll figure out what's up with the tablet and the volume thing. I have no understanding there. But that'll be on Instagram. I'll see if I can get it up on the live stream as well. Maybe I'll just create an event and we'll go from there. Anyways, thanks for watching as always, and we'll catch you guys next time. We'll see you then.